Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do an election prediction map. It'll be generic Democrat since we don't know who will run on the Democratic ticket. The party is so fractured right now. Versus JD Vance. He's the incumbent, and people seem to like him. He's got a good debate voice, and he's assertive, and he's the best vice president we've ever seen. So let's start with the solid Republican states. Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska third, Kansas, Oklahoma. We'll do Missouri, Arkansas, and then the deep south except for Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and South Carolina. Okay, now let's go with the solid blue states. Washington and California, because obviously. And then Vermont, Massachusetts, Maryland, and DC. DC has gone Democrat for the last 100 years, and I don't see that changing. And then finally, Hawaii. There's a lot of ocean in Hawaii and a lot of liberals. Everyone knows that. So it can only go solid blue. All right, now let's do the likely states. So let's start with, what are the likely states? We've got Ohio, and then we have Texas and Florida. So the thing about these three states is that they're conservative, but there's lots of big cities in each state. Austin, of course, being just a liberal hellhole. We all know it. So that offsets some of the rural population, but I don't see it going full solid red anytime soon. Ohio has a bunch of big cities, all dotted throughout the state. We all know them. So of course lots of liberals, but I think that'll be offset by much of the rural population. There's a lot of agriculture and industry there. Okay, and Florida, we saw Miami-Dade make a huge swing to the right. Thank you, Latinos. We love you. So, but that's the only big city that really did that. I mean, of course, every other city did that too, but just not to the same degree. And then we'll go Alaska. It's only voted Republican for the past 60 years, maybe even more, but obviously it's still not going to go full conservative because I can't guarantee that. And then we'll go with Nebraska first. This district contains Lincoln, which is a college town full of liberal idiots, but the rest of it is pretty rural. So obviously, we're going to go likely Republican on that area. Okay, now let's do likely Democrat. We'll start with Oregon. Oregon is pretty obvious. There's a sizable rural population, and the state moved to the right from 2020 to 2024. And if the trends continue the way they do, then I think it'll still remain likely. I don't expect it to go lean in this decade, maybe in 20 years or so. Colorado, same thing, same reasoning as Oregon. And then we have Illinois, same reasoning as Oregon, heavy rural population outside of Chicagoland. We'll go New York, and then Delaware, and the rest of the Atlantic states. Let's see, have I missed anything? No, I think we're good here. Actually, let's say Maine first, just because, Oh, and I missed one of the Republican states. So I'm thinking of putting Iowa. Oh, and I also missed Indiana. That's also solid red. But back to Iowa. Iowa it's not, it might be ready to go full Republican. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that because it's in the Midwest, and the Midwest has a lot of conservative states, and Iowa is no different. So solid Republican it goes. Okay, now let's go to the lean Democrat states. New Mexico. Unfortunately, Latinos tend to be a little bit liberal, But even though the state moved to the right in 2024, I think it's just going to remain lean, right? Yeah, let's go with that. Virginia, there's been a slight exodus of federal employees. We'll see how Doge goes, but this is what it was in 2024, and for that reason, I think it's going to remain the same. Okay, I think that's it. Actually, let's go with Maine at large too. Okay, now let's go with the lean Republican. So voter registration is up in Nevada, Arizona, and Pennsylvania for the Republicans. So obviously voter registration matters a whole lot, and it's increased. So we can definitely move those out of the tilt column and move them all into the lean. Okay, let's go to. I think I have these out of order, but doesn't really matter. I forgot to do Nebraska at large. That's solid Republican, of course. Every year we see it. Okay, now let's go tilt Republican. So Michigan and Wisconsin, obviously, they moved to the right a little bit. Michigan still only won by under 2%, so it's not fully ready to be lean yet. Wisconsin's kind of a wild card, but I have to pick it so I don't have any toss-up states because that turns viewers away. So that's going to be a tilt Republican. North Carolina, there's a lot of big cities in North Carolina that offset the huge rural vote, and cities again, obviously, they're full liberals. So we're gonna keep that a tilt Republican state. Oh, I forgot another Republican. I'm gonna say that Maine second is likely Republican, because it moved to the right, and that's what trends do. Okay, now let's go tilt Democrat. This is going to be really controversial. We're going to go with Minnesota, even though most of the state is red. Like if you look at a map, it's just blood red, except for a couple of counties. Uh, the Twin Cities just dominate and they overwhelm the rural vote. Everyone knows that. So it's not ready to flip Republican yet. And then Nebraska second. That's been gerrymandered to encompass Omaha, and Omaha is a big city, and big cities are full of Democrats. Okay, now New Jersey, this is where it gets really controversial. They might get a Republican this year, so as governor, and that will increase votership for the Republican candidate. It always does, but not quite enough because of the heavy population density around next to New York City. Okay, now for New Hampshire, we're going to go the same. It's going to be tilt Democrat. Uh, there are some suburbanites from the Boston area living in New Hampshire, but there's a lot of libertarian spirit in New Hampshire too, but not enough to flip it Republican. Okay, oopsie. Okay, now back to tilt Republican. I missed something here. I saved this one for last. I did it on purpose. So it swung to the right from 2020 to 2024, but at the same time, this was the only state with major political shifts to the left in the suburbs of Atlanta, which is a big city. Uh, but I think JD Vance has suburban appeal, so he's going to keep that at a slim, tiny, slim tilt margin for the Republicans, maybe 1 to 2%. So there you have it, 312 to 226. JD Vance wins. Thank you for watching.